how hot is Kevin Stefanski's seat entering the season? So I saw this list online the other day, and it caught my interest. It says head coach is on the hot seat entering this year. Number 1 was Brandon Staley. 2 was Kevin Stefanski. 3 was Ron Rivera. 4 was Josh McDaniels. 5 was Mike McCarthy. 6 was Todd Bowles. 7 was Dennis Allen. And 8 was Arthur Smith. Those were the 8 coaches that Cody Benjamin says are on the hot seat entering the year. I guess one, what do you think of the list? Is there any names on there that you think aren't on the hot seat, or did he kind of get that right?
That aren't on the hot seat.
Yeah. So Brandon Staley, Stefanski, Rivera, McDaniels, McCarthy, Bowles, Allen, or Smith.
I mean, so I feel like Dennis Allen still, if you hire a head coach and after 1 year you're like, maybe we need to make a change. I feel like that sometimes these things take time. You can't just get rid of a guy. Now, if he goes into his second year and you see no improvement and the team still looks awful, maybe there's no direction there. I mean, of all those coaches, and we'll get to Stefanski, I mean, I think they're all deserving of kind of being on the hot seat.
Yeah, I was honest. Like, I was a little bit surprised Brandon Staley didn't get fired last year.
Yeah, you've said that for a couple of years now. Just the playoffs come around, and Blake's been real big on this. He's like, man, in big moments, chokester.
Yeah,
big time. Just what are you doing, guy?
He's just the king of overthinking or not thinking at all. I can't figure out which one it is.
What's going on? Yeah.
People say that about Stefanski. Imagine being a Chargers fan.
Oh, I can only imagine what they say about him.
So Todd Bowles, hot seat. There's a couple of guys like Todd Bowles and Dennis Allen. I feel like they're only the coaches of their current team because their current teams were like in a pinch. Apparently Tom Brady and Bruce Arians didn't get along great, and if they wanted Tom Brady to stick around for another year, so like, okay, cool, he'll step back, and here, we'll just put this guy in here for now.
Right, like the real coach of those teams were no longer there all of a sudden, and it's like, crap.
Yep, we'll just promote somebody from within real quick.
Yep.
Because you're not going to tell me that Dennis Allen was the first choice of the Saints when they're trying to groom a Jameis Winston or in all these quarterbacks and this old defensive coach. Like, I just don't get the sense he was their number 1 choice.
That's fair.
I would argue. I think Kevin Stefanski will be on the hot seat if the season starts rough. I think you could say deservingly his seat should be very lukewarm right now. I just don't know if it's hot because I feel like there is so much optimism about the Browns this year inside the organization. I get no sense that anybody's in panic mode, anything like that. I think they really like the roster they put together. I think they feel they fixed the issues with the defense and the special teams. They addressed some of the holes on the defense, like in the defensive line. They added some wide receivers. I just think there's so much optimism around the team right now that I just don't see he's on the hot seat. We start 0-4, I think that gets very hot. I don't think that Andrew Berry's the kind of guy to fire somebody midseason, though, or else we would have seen Joe Woods gone
exactly
last year.
Yep.
He would have been fired after the Jets game.
And, I mean, I did a video a few weeks ago, maybe last week, whatever, talking about how last year we were just a few plays throughout the season away from having a very good record last year. And none of it was on the offense, which is, I know he's the head coach.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, Joe Wood's defense and Mike Prefer's special teams blew it for us so many times whenever – honestly, if you go back and look at kind of like the play-by-play on those games, I mean, the offense was putting us in positions to win. Yeah. And then a false start on special teams, and then we get a kick blocked that would have won the game for us. And it's like those kinds of things I don't expect to happen under the new coaching staff.
No, and to the people, he's, like you said, he was the head coach. But that doesn't mean he can micromanage the defense and the special teams.
You don't want him doing that.
No, like at some point, like as a good manager – you have to trust that your guys are going to go do the job, even when you're not there. Like managers don't work 24/7. That's why they put people in place that they can trust. Now, you could say he never should have hired them.
That's fair.
That you could put on him. But in terms of, like, it's not like he could just say, Joe, don't worry, I'll do the offense, the defense, and the special teams now. You guys just stand around and look good.
Right.
Like that wasn't an option, or else everything would have fallen apart. So it's not, he couldn't just do it all. Those guys were making money. He had to rely on them. They let him down. And then there's a reason they're not coaches on this team anymore.
Correct.
It sucks. I feel like there's always something too. Like so he had his first year, went to the playoffs, and then every year since it's just been something. Like, so the second year it was Baker
shoulder.
Yep. Third year, Joe Woods doesn't have a defense. It's crazy because he's probably the best coach that we've had since we came back. And I would say convincingly.
I've made this point several times to people. Like, his quarterbacks have been Baker Mayfield and Jacoby Brissett. I don't count Deshaun Watson yet because that wasn't Deshaun Watson last year. So those two quarterbacks, he had them each in the top 10 of QBR.
Yep.
Like in the league.
Yep.
I mean, they both, we've said this millions of times, they both had their best seasons under this guy.
Yeah. Yep. I just don't want to see panic. Like, I don't want to see the stuff we saw last year.
No.
I don't want to see players kind of just doing their own thing. I don't want to see, a loss of the locker room. That's my thing. I think as Cleveland fans, we kind of need to chill, but like if they have another terrible season, it's probably over. I don't know if Haslam has the patience to really just wait.
If it's another bad season, I mean, it's reasonable for sure for him to be on the hot seat.
That's
Absolutely.
fair.
I understand it, but I don't know. It wasn't like we were blowing we were losing games and getting our butts kicked last year and he just looked completely inept out there. It was, the Browns look pretty good in this game, and then down into the wire,
it's always something.
Something just happened.
It's always something. Yep.
I don't understand this Stefanski hate online, and people are going to start jumping in our comments talking about how bad he is. God, he's not bad. He's a good.
Right.
Like, he's not bad. He's not perfect.
No.
Nobody is perfect. Okay.
And if you fire him, who do you hire?
Yeah. Another unproven somebody.
Yeah, you're just rolling the dice again and going, maybe we'll have something better than the last guy when you might have something right now.
The biggest thing I hear too is if he starts bad, they'll fire him and it'll be Schwartz. Well, Schwartz, I love Jim Schwartz. Also, his head coaching career.
Yeah.
A lot of losses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's a reason he's a defensive coordinator now.
Yep.
Yeah. So
has been.
That's one of those things like, come on, okay, get rid of him, and then what? And then you're right back at square one.
Yep.
And when you talked about that, you said that wasn't Deshaun last year. I remember making multiple comments last year, like, we need to just let Deshaun be loose. Like, we're not playing to his strengths right now. And then whatever you heard all offseason, we're completely tailoring the offense. Well, you couldn't do that midseason.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't just, Deshaun's back. Hey, everything we've done for the last 4 months, we're throwing that out the window.
Yeah. And we're only doing it for 6 games.
Yeah, we're running this offense now. It was like a Deshaun, go out there and get used to game speed again and just, it is what it is. If we can make something out of this, then cool. But I don't think the Browns had any expectations for last year.
No, I agree with you on that because, what happened after the season? It wasn't like we blew stuff up. We fired the 2 coaches who needed to be fired. We fixed the problems. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We didn't do anything drastic. We fixed the problems. They looked at the defensive line, said, holy shit.
Got some issues. Yeah. Let's address those.
The line, so
it's like that every year.
Yeah.
So just hopefully, God forbid there's something new that is coming, but, that'll mess us up and derail it. But no, I'm with you. I agree with your point, too, that I don't think they'll fire him regardless. They could start off 0-6, and I don't think they'll fire him. They'll stick it through to the end of the year, and if we got 4 wins, they'll go, okay, well, hey, it's been real. We're moving on.
So let us know. Is Stefanski on the hot seat? And if he is, how hot is it? And if it's not, how long until he is? What kind of, if the season starts bad, when do we start hearing, the peanut gallery?
Yep.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.